Hi there, beautiful souls. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk. And my name is Lana Zelinsky, and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, on my videos or on my live feeds, all you have to do is take what resonates, and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. Happy Friday. I hope all of you have had a glorious week. It has been a lovely week for me. It's been busy. I have had some new experiences, meeting new people. I was on a little bit of a road trip yesterday for work, ventured off to the Toronto area, and it was absolutely great. Good morning, all of you coming in. I have had a very interesting morning with channeling and sitting with my guides. I think we're coming into a very profound time for some personal growth. I'll give everybody a chance to log in this morning and then I'll start. A little bit of an update for me. I am going to be away next week. I'm going to be working in the Southampton area. I should be on Monday. I should be able to do an energy update on Monday, and I'm not quite sure if I'll make the Wednesday because I am going to be working out of town. I am hoping to pop on this weekend. I will put it on the community page. It'll either be Saturday early evening or Sunday late morning. I do plan on coming onto YouTube and maybe do some readings, taking a lot of questions, but I will post that on the community page. I'm just not quite sure how my Saturday is going to unfold because I do have some stuff I have to get done, but I will post on the community page. Good morning. Welcome everybody coming in. Oh, Dan's here. Good to see you, Dan. Good to see everybody coming in. Good morning. So I was sitting with Spirit this morning. I actually was up at 4 a.m. Eastern time doing some channeling. Spirit kind of nudged me and said, it's time to get up and let's do some chit-chatting. So I want to dive into right away as to what Spirit was talking to me about this morning. Now, I just want to start off by saying I think this is going to expand into next week's energy update as well, because I felt this coming in as a movement, as an energy movement, just kind of coming in to kind of seep in a little bit deeper. As I was channeling with my spirit guides this morning, I was feeling very deeply connected to the divine mothering energy and the divine feminine energy. And, we all hold divine feminine energy and we all can connect to that divine mothering energy. But when I leaned in there and I connected a little bit deeper with spirit, what kept coming up to me is this divine mothering energy that we're all going to be feeling that within ourselves. And it's going to be an interesting space because I think you may have some stuff pop up that you've been kind of either reviewing or sitting with or kind of feeling. And it's going to come in as a little bit of um, a little bit of judging yourself, a little bit of being hard on yourself. It's going to be about I felt we were looking at parts of ourselves that were wrong, that we were perceiving was wrong. And one thing the divine mother energy said to me is don't make parts of you wrong. No parts of you are wrong. And no parts of you are not working. And I felt myself needing to interact a little bit deeper with that divine mother energy. And when I leaned in a little bit there, I fell into this divine mothering energy of the heart space. And when I just allowed myself to be wrapped up in that space, I found myself going deeper into that divine mothering energy on how I am viewed by that energy, and how sometimes we hold ourselves in different boxes with, well, this is wrong with me, or this part of me isn't healed, and this part of me needs this. And I felt the divine mothering energy wrap me up even tighter. And allowing that as a reviewing and as an evolving, and to nurture what I need, and and this is collective for all of us, is to be able to lean into what parts of you need nurturing, and allowing ourselves to get that nurturing from that divine mothering energy. Now, what also kind of came into this is the people around us, the people in our lives, the people, whether it be our friends or our family or our coworkers. We do kind of navigate through things collectively. Some of us are, maybe more aware of it than others, but people around us are also going to be needing that divine mothering energy, and being able to tap into that space and be, into that heart space of the divine mother, whether it be Mother Nature, however you connect to it, and to be able to look at yourself and at other people from that perspective, from that divine mother. Now, with that unlocking, because for some of us it's going to be an unlocking, and I'll be honest, for me, I felt that unlocking within myself as well. Is what do I need from that space, from that energy? That and I felt myself unlocking it. And as I was leaning into that unlocking, I felt this huge shift of independence and balance kind of blending. And you may kind of feel a bit of a push pull, because that's exactly how I felt. I felt I was being in that push pull space. And when I leaned into that push pull space, I was kind of shown as a vision or as a movie. It's because we hold these parts of us that we kind of lean into that are wrong with us. No parts of you are wrong. And that kept getting echoed to me louder and louder with this whole, and I'll say it again because it repeated in my meditation at least a dozen times. No parts of you are wrong. So when you kind of look into that, you're intact. And yes, we're always going through healing. I've talked about this before. When we kind of push through that, when we kind of lean in that, when we kind of ask how, and I've said this before in one of my YouTube videos, how do you think source energy, whatever word you connect to that source energy, right, God, Buddha, Jesus, spirit guides, whatever works for you, when you lean into that, how do you think that they see you? How do you think that they see you? They see you trying, they see you learning, they see you exploring, they see you tripping, they see you getting back up. They don't look at you and say, well, that was wrong, or that part of you was wrong. And I think we're being pushed, and it's going to be a very interesting next couple of weeks with the channeling, because I was literally like trembling when I was leaning into there. And I know I'm going to be getting more. I feel that when we lean into that, what I really felt being pushed through is these new doors opening. When we kind of like, it's like, okay, I get it. And when we kind of embrace ourselves with that, I seen collectively for all of us, these new opportunities, this new creative space, these new lessons coming in. When we kind of pull into that, there's nothing wrong with you. And I literally was like shaking. And then what I seen, and this is kind of I thought it was really amazing, was the tree of life came into my awareness. We all know that, the symbol of the tree of life. And I was watching it like a movie. I was watching this tree of life, and I was observing it. And I could see, the deep tree root wisdom power and the energy of growth. And then I started seeing new branches growing off of the tree of life. And that is very symbolic for all of us, with allowing that new growth. And I think we're coming into that space, and it's going to come from that motherly love energy within us. We do often seek that from other people, right? From whether it be from mothers, from grandmothers, from friends, that loving space. And it was a huge divine feminine energy. And we all hold that. We regardless of gender, regardless of our lives, we all have the ability to tap into that divine feminine energy and allow that to come in a little bit closer, to allow yourself to give what you need. And because it's there for us to tap into, it's there for us to embrace, and it's there for us to get a deeper understanding. But it's going to feel like this push pull in the beginning. That's exactly how it felt to me when I tapped into this. Was this I felt pushed and pulled, and I felt a little bit like this, and I needed to bring myself into this state of independence. So you may come into, and this, when we kind of, and I'll use the word fight for our independence, but I don't mean it that way. But when we kind of lean into, I need more independence, or I need more space, sometimes we go out of balance with that. We either feel guilty for it, or we feel other people need us, or we may feel that out of balance when we need that. And it's about putting it into balance. There's going to be a timeline coming up very, very soon. It's kind of in front of my face, where we're going to kind of seek that independence. And independence may be something as simple as, I just need to sit and read a book, or I need to learn something else. I need to take a workshop. I need to go for a walk. I need to do something for myself. The word independence, can be the very small things that we don't give ourselves. We often don't give ourselves that energetically. So I just kind of remember that I said it. Just kind of remember that there's this unlocking space. I feel like we're on this. The only way I can explain it is this unlocking. There's an unlocking coming, and it felt so good. Even though I felt out of balance in it, and there were times I had to really kind of level myself off with it. It's an amazing gift to give yourself, to tap into that divine mothering energy. Lean into it and embrace it, and just be aware that the people around you, because this big time collective, the people around you, so it may come up for them depending on on where they are in their own journey and their learning. It may come up for them as a neediness, so you may find people around you being needy, and they're just what they're saying, energetically, is, I just need some of that divine mothering energy. When you think about what the divine mother would feel like. So if you're not familiar with divine mothering energy, just imagine an energy, a space where it's just mothering love. We're just that mothering support, that mothering space, that mother nature. Think about how that feels. Right. And just kind of put that out to the people who may come across energetically as being needy, as needing that support. You can simply just bring it into your awareness. I like to just kind of visualize things in my hands. It's kind of how I work. And I'll simply send it. I'm going to send that to that person so that they can feel energetically. Doesn't mean that I have to jump in there and mother them, or it doesn't, because it's not me that they're needing. It's the divine mothering energy. And I'll send it to them. I'll send them in that loving space, or I'll just simply hold them in that space in my own heart. I'll visualize you sitting beside me with just divine mothering energy for both of us, to help us grow, because there's a big unlocking, and it felt very much like new branches. Now, when we're growing new branches, I want to go into this a little bit. When we're growing new branches on our own tree of life, sometimes that learning, so, because learning and lessons can come at us in many different forms. It doesn't always come with a fuzzy bunny feeling. That's one thing that I've learned, is lessons can be hard, and they can be frustrating, and but when we're feeling that, go back and let that divine mother energy help you navigate your new trees, your new branches on your own tree. And it will kind of give you that space. It will kind of push you more into that heart space, to be open to, and it also opens up to receiving too, right? To be able to receive new things, to be able to receive new energy. It was a profound moment with me today with spirit. I think we're going to be talking about this into next week as well, because I felt this as a big shift. And the other thing that came up for me when I was leaning a little bit more into the no parts of you are wrong. No parts of you are wrong. When I went into that a little bit deeper, I really felt this simplicity. And spirit whispered in my ear, you all need to show up as you are. You all need to show up as you are. We have parts of us that we look at from that space. Well, I didn't do that well, or I don't do this well, or perhaps it's a physical body image issue. I haven't lost that weight, or I haven't done that. When you look up at yourself with, I'm just going to show up as I am, because the healing is continuous. We're here to learn, we're here to grow, we're here to heal. Some of it's past life stuff, but regardless of it all, if you show up as you are with all your parts, there's power in that. There's power. And I think that, like I said, just a few minutes ago, I think we're going to be navigating through this as a theme. I really do. I really feel that this divine mothering energy is really asking for us asking for our attention, and to be able to embrace it, because what we embrace, we put out as well. And I think that collectively, we are going to be navigating into into some new spaces, into some new things, and into some new learning, and being able to come at it with that divine feminine and that divine mothering energy. It's going to be huge. It's going to be really interesting to see. I'm actually quite excited to be able to do some more channeling over the weekend and into next week. It had me really excited, because I don't think I've ever channeled anything quite like this with the divine mother energy, or the divine feminine. I've tapped into it many times, but I don't think I've channeled at such a deep space. just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. And if you know, and if you do hold parts of you as being wrong, just remember there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. And love yourself from that divine mother. Just think about how unconditional, how what profound love comes from that energy. It's a space that may be unfamiliar to depending on what your experiences are with, friends or family. Depending on what your experiences are, you might find this a little bit difficult to embrace. And I think that is big learning. I think that is big learning, because when we think about all the things in our own experiences, and I think we've all had similar experiences where we may have let down family, or we may have let down people who are mother or mother figures. We do seek to please people, right? We do seek, we naturally seek it. I have to step out of that myself every single time I come onto a YouTube live, or any time I speak publicly. I have to come out of that space of, well, what if I'm judged, and what if I'm this, and leaning into that. The divine mothering energy only knows that unconditional love for all the things that I've learned in my life, whether I've learned them well, or if I've learned them the hard way, right? So it's going to be a big shift in movement. And I think that for our own spiritual growth, I think this is going to navigate us in such a way of truth, right? Because let's be honest, there are times where we may not walk the talk, right? Like there are times where we may not take our own advice, and we may not follow through with the self-care, and we may not follow through with all that. The divine mothering energy loves us through that. There's no judgment there. There's nothing wrong with you, right? So, and I am very excited. I can feel. I don't know if you can feel that in my energy. I'm just so excited to bring this morning. I think that this is going to be something we're going to talk about a lot more. I really don't feel I'm done with this. I don't feel like Spirit is done giving me more downloads on this topic. I really don't. It was a beautiful moment, and it was a lot of aha moments, and it was a lot of that unlocking. I keep seeing it as an unlocking. Even now as I'm talking, I see like an ancient door with the old skeleton key. I can see that as an unlocking, and it'll be unlocking from within me. It'll be unlocking from within with you collectively. There's this unlocking coming, and I think it's glorious. Now remember now, learning and processes and experiences, they can go like this. It can be very bumpy. It can be very rough. It's not that I'm saying that the water is completely smooth and we're going to sail through things. I'm saying that when we grow through it from a divine mothering energy, we just have a different space within ourselves. It's that different space within ourselves collectively that is coming. That was an exciting chit chat. I haven't had a chance to scroll or even watch the comments yet. I am going to come up and have a little read. I do have to get to some in-person sessions today. I'm very excited. I have a few in-person sessions today, but I will spend a little bit of time. I will post. I promise I will post. It's YouTube's turn to have me live, so I will come on this weekend. And if I didn't get to your questions, hopefully you can join me there, and I'll hold it like an Ask the Medium, or I'll just do some channeling and see where we go. But let's just see where if any of this resonates a lot with you guys here. A lot of validation in the comments with with what this message means to you. Kayla Morgan, this makes me want to pull some tarot cards. Go for it. Diane, I'm always hard on myself. There's a few comments about that. Kayla, this is exactly how I feel. Memories keep coming up that I'm trying to move past. So, Kayla, and for those of you who are working through that, when you're working through that healing, tap into that divine mother. That divine mother. There's only love and understanding in that space. All those things that we seek here in the physical world, it's in that space to help us navigate through that. And when I think, I just want to kind of tap into that for a moment, because I just had a bit of a light bulb go off from the spirit dimensions. There is, go to that space for advice. Literally, Spirit just like brought that up in like a light bulb cloud for me. Go to that space for advice. If you need advice or guidance, and go lean into that divine mother energy and just kind of sit there, just kind of visualize the feeling of a divine energy so powerful in that moment, and take your question there. The answers that you will receive, it may come to you as a solid knowing, you may get clear clarity, you may just get a feeling, but kind of take that there. That's huge. That is so huge. See where we need to go. Easy Puff. Oh my God. I was just doing this yesterday evening. I love it. Lana, my dad's nearing the end of his treatment. Does it feel like it's working? Nisa, I do feel like there has been some success in that treatment. I and I'll message you privately as well a little bit more on this topic. I just feel like health wise, I don't feel 100%. Just kind of tapping into that right now. I don't feel that as 100%, but I will send you a private message there. I felt the motherly energy starting this week. Wild, love it. I love how you share what in any validation or what you're picking up and what you're experiencing. I just love that so much. Dan, I've been very critical of myself lately. I needed to get out of my own way. Dan, we are often in our own way, and I'll share with you, Dan, something that I probably shared it before, because I've shared this with a lot of my mentoring students, and I think I've shared it on a live too. When I'm struggling to get out of my own way, what I do is I just sit for a moment. I bring in too much on the top of a mountain, because I do like the mountains. I bring myself to that place to sit, and I'll just visualize myself sitting there while I navigate through some learning. I'm going to get out of the way. So I'm giving my physical self and my brain power permission to sit somewhere else so that I can get out of the way and allow. Allowing is a big thing, because and again, it comes down to we're afraid to learn lessons, and we always we have this, and I get it. I want things to go well for me too, but we do have this expectation that if it doesn't go well, or if it doesn't go right, then I've done something wrong, and then we come back into that with those parts of us that are wrong, right? Simply show up as you are, out of the way of it, and don't make parts of you wrong. No part of you is wrong. So when you kind of sit in that, it'll help navigate I'm going to get out of the way, because I'm learning. Soften it up a little bit on yourself. Let me just see where we need to go. Deanna, I like your words. Echoed in my body. No parts of you are wrong. That's powerful. It's very powerful. It's, and I know, a lot of this, the information in the download spirit gives me, I know that most of us, many of us, and perhaps all of us, may have that as an awareness, but we don't practice it. Right? We don't, we lean back into the programming, we lean back into the past experiences. And it's, when it's about kind of, taking that, and here it is again, what I said a few minutes ago about that independence, that independent thinking, that independent growing. There's the independence coming in again, the independence to break away from old thought processes, the independence to break away from old habits, the independence to break away from programming. I think we're going to be coming into that space of that independence is going to come barreling through at us. But also remember, this is collective. So when you see it from people around you, they may be on their own independent voyage with their own independence. So, sometimes we forget that this can be collective, and we can take things on very personally. What do you mean you don't want to hang out with me? What do you mean you just, you're no longer doing that because it doesn't resonate to you? Remember, other people are on their own journey with this growth as well, because I think sometimes we forget that, and then we take things on very personally. What would the divine mother say? Start asking yourself that as things pop up for you in the next couple days or the next couple weeks. Just kind of say, what would the divine mother do or say? And I just feel that divine feminine energy becoming so loud in the upcoming weeks. So it can be that simple. Ask yourself that before you kind of have a reaction or process it. What would a divine mother say? Right? So I love it. I just absolutely love it. I just love it. I love these messages. It's nice to remember we are being looked after as we navigate the world. Absolutely. We come here with a team of spirit guides. I've had this conversation a few times. We come here with an entire team to help us or to guide us through those difficult times. And one thing that I said to spirit, and I think I've said this, many times on my learning journey, is why am I going through this? Like, can't you like make this whole better? Like, this doesn't a spirit guide have a magic wand to kind of like, like move it for me? And there have been many times where they have said to me, there's something for you to learn through this experience, and we're going to walk with you. We're going to assist you. We're going to give you what you need to learn through it, but you got to go through it, right? So powerful stuff. A lot of you needed to hear this message today, just kind of skimming through these. Deanna, I think something tried to communicate with me last night when I laid in bed. It was very strong, and I had to call on my guides, angels, surround myself with light, and it went away. Negative. Deanna, when I lean into that, I feel that um what they're showing me is they're showing me stuff that needs to be let go. So sometimes, when we feel things, it can be our own experiences or things that we need to let go. Things that have affected us in certain way. It can be, because I really feel like it's time to surrender something that you've been holding. And if you can't verbalize it, or you're just not quite sure what it is, just kind of do a meditation to release, or get down to a body of water and put your feet in, or bury your feet in the sand, whatever resonates with you, and just kind of whatever just needs to go energetically. I'm going to give that permission to go. I don't feel it as a negative entity or anything negative that way. I feel it more as something energetically that's just being saying it's time to move it along. It's time to just let it go. Deanna, kind of feel into that and see if it resonates with you, and give that a try, because I feel like the spirit guides coming in, and good for you for calling on your guides. I feel like they are kind of showing you that there is so much light around you. There is so much growth around you, and lean into that space. I hope that helps you there. Hannah, I've been feeling a pull to read and be more alone lately. Yep. The independence and balance is kind of it is kind of speaking to you. And I think, there's a lot of mixed feelings with that, because sometimes we feel, oh, there's something wrong with me, or, I'm not serving other people if I just want to be alone, or, like if I just need to turn my phone off and not answer, what will people think? And it's just the space. It's that independence and that balance. I feeling it pushing through more and more. So you may find yourselves just wanting to wander, or have that moment of peace. Or the other thing that may come up as is you may become frustrated with people. Everybody's wanting to peck at me, peck, 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 and they don't even realize that they're pecking. And then all of a sudden you snap, right? It's like, it's about finding that balance. And I think we're going to be coming more into that space. Oh, wow. Okay. Dee Dee, I just started a new workshop last night called "Will I Ever Be Good Enough? Daughters of Narcissist Mothers. I need this now to help me navigate through my mother's pancreatic cancer." Did he lean into the divine mother energy? I think you will find it quite profound. And I think when we lean in there, it will help us navigate through past experiences with people. I'm sure every single one of you on here has had an experience where you weren't treated well by somebody. And I think and sometimes navigating through that hurt, can take years and years and years of healing, and perhaps an entire lifetime to work through it. What helps will be, and I'm going to be putting this into big time practice over the next several weeks, and perhaps permanently, with taking things to the divine mother energy, this consciously going there, right? And I think as you navigate through your healing, with your own experience with your mom, I think when you take it to the divine mother, I think you'll have a whole new perspective on how to navigate through the remainder of your journey with your mom, right? Profound words from spirit today. I know there's a lot of you who are asking me questions about connecting in with messages. I will go on to, like I said, I will post on the community page when I'm going to come onto the YouTube live. Hopefully you can make it and bring those questions there. Mainly because I'm down to just the last few minutes where I do need to go. And I just wanted to keep the conversation this morning based on what Spirit said. So I promise I'll give you guys some time this weekend. I absolutely, I'll be on here. I'm going to challenge myself to repeat this mantra to myself every day. Been trying to start a new project, but I've stumbled and lost some confidence. I think this message is timely. I'll try again. Stand back up, my friend. Stand back up. I think that that's so important is, standing back up and, whether we try something new or we try it from a different perspective or understanding. Dan, one thing Dan, if you're still listening, one thing that I wanted to tap into here, with you is, many times I've Spirit has shown me things, or I really felt that I was going in the right direction with something. I had a lot of excitement with it, and things weren't happening, and things weren't happening. And I didn't take my foot off the throttle, but what I did lean into, because time and time again, Spirit would show me it's the time is yet to come. So, because I don't feel, Dan, that you should step down from this project. I feel it's divine timing. If I look at myself, all the things that I've done, if I would have pushed against the timeline of it, it wouldn't have worked out. And it's more or less Spirit saying to you, Dan, trust the time. It's there's still something to learn. There's still something that you need to go through. There's still the timeline just isn't quite there yet. So I would kind of align with that, Dan. I would also kind of really work on, and when you think about, I'm not sure what your project is, Dan, but when you kind of look at, but I'm really feeling pulled to have this conversation. When you really kind of look at, is there anything in today with there's no parts that are wrong with you that you need to kind of tap into and kind of clean up a little bit in order for this project to go forward? Yeah. So, and perhaps it means that your confidence needs to be boosted. Perhaps it means that there's something else that you just kind of, that's not quite ready. It's almost like, and here's how I'm seeing it. It's kind of interesting. When you're baking a cake or a banana bread, and Spirit showed me something really funny, but I'm going to share it anyway. When you're baking a banana bread and you open the oven and it looks like it's cooked until you stick a toothpick in it and the toothpick comes out raw, and it just needs a few more minutes. Right? It's just literally like a few more minutes, and then you put the toothpick back in, you take it out, and it's cooked. Things may look like they're ready, but it's just not quite yet. And and that's one thing that I have really learned to trust with Spirit is, okay, it's not quite yet. No, I'm just gonna trust it. I really feel that applies here to you, Dan. The cake's just not quite baked. And I love when Spirit kind of shows me things in different perspectives. It's like, yeah, that makes sense. How many times have you looked at something and thought, oh, it's cooked, and then you cut into it and it's like not cooked yet, right? It's an interesting perspective, and I think Spirit shows me these things to kind of give me my own aha. And okay, now I get it when you word it that way, right? Good stuff. And as far as a daily mantra, Dan, or for all of you, and I think I may put this one on my fridge or my cupboards. Whenever I need to kind of be reminded of something, I will often either use it as a screensaver, or I'll write a couple Post-it notes. I'll put it up in the bathroom mirror or on the fridge, somewhere where I'm going to see it several times a day. I've often labeled my water bottle or my teacup with a Post-it note. Don't make parts of you wrong. There are no parts of you that are wrong. Make that your mantra. There are no parts of me that are wrong. And and I think once and that's a great way to reprogram our thoughts too, because it's something that we have to look at and remind ourselves and remind ourselves and remind ourselves. It kind of helps with letting go of what you may have been telling yourself, or the story that's been read to you, because sometimes the story has been read to us, right? Sometimes people have said the things to us, oh, you'll never be good enough, you'll never be successful, you shouldn't be doing that. I went through a lot of that, with taking what I'm doing full time. I mean, there were so many moments where all I kept hearing is this will never fly, right? And I just kept pushing through it and pushing through it. This has been a great chit chat. I hope you all enjoyed your time with me. I promise, keep an eye on the community page. I'll get on here this weekend. I'll try and give you a little bit of notice, and I'll come on and do some channeling and answering some questions. And have a hangout that way. Thanks for joining me here. It's been great. Happy Friday. Enjoy the day wherever you are, or the evening, or the afternoon. As always, I am wishing you love, light, blessings, and have a spirit guided day. Take care of each other.